Hello everyone, today I'll be solving the Mathematics ICSE 2023 paper. Uh, we'll start with question 1, which is multiple choice. There are 15 multiple choice questions. So the first one, question 1I, it's a matrix question. So simply we have to do matrix multiplication. First matrix multiplied by the second matrix is equal to the third matrix. So matrix multiplication, remember it goes row by column. So 2 into x plus 0 into y, and 0 into x plus 4 into y. This is going to equal 2 minus 8. And then the positions are equal. So 2x, 0y is just 0, 2x is equal to 2, so x is equal to 1. And 4y is equal to minus 8, so y is equal to minus 2. So our answer then is 1 comma minus 2, which is A. The second one is if x minus 2 is a factor of x cubed, let's say f of x is equal to x cubed minus kx minus 12, and they said x minus 2 is a factor. That means x minus 2 is a factor means that f of 2 is equal to 0. So we simply plug in 2 in our equation. And solve for k. So f of 2 is 0. 2 cubed is 8 minus 2k minus 12. Bring the 2k on the other side. 8 minus 12 is minus 4. K will then be minus 4 over 2, which is minus 2. That would be choice number C. The third one. In the given diagram, you see this diagram here. They told us RT is a tangent. It touches the circle at S. If PST is 30 degrees and SPQ is 60 degrees, then they asked you the value of PSQ, means this value they want. Alright, so simply we can say PST is 30 degrees, which means that the angle in the alternate segment, the angle SQP, has to also be 30 degrees. So if this is 30 degrees, this is 60, this has to be 90. So 60 degrees plus 30 degrees plus, we can call that x, has to be 180, angle sum properly. So obviously then x has to be 90 degrees. That would be option D. The fourth one. A letter is chosen at random from the letters of the English alphabet. The probability that the letter chosen is a vowel is, first of all, we have to remember that the English alphabet has 26 letters total, and the vowels are A, E, I, O, and U, which is 5 of them. So 5 out of 26 is your probability, which is option B. Right? So now we'll go on to question 5. If 3 is a root of the quadratic equation, x squared minus px plus 3 is equal to 0. If it's a root, means you simply plug in the value of 3 for x and you can figure out what p is. So 3 squared minus p into 3 plus 3 is equal to 0. That's 9 minus 3p plus 3 is equal to 0. And bring the 3p on the other side. 3p is equal to 12. 12 over 3 is p. P has to be 4. That's option A. Okay. Sixth one. In the figure, BAP. BAP is 70 degrees. PC is 6. CA is 4. Then they ask you the ratio of PD is to DB. This is very simple. Just looking at it, you know by BPT theorem that PC is to CA has to equal PD is to DB, because these lines are parallel. You know that because both of these are 70 degrees, so that means the lines are parallel. So you can use BPT to say that the ratio is 6:4. You can simplify that to say that's 3:2. So that would be option C. 3:2 is PD ratio DB. Then the seventh one. The price of an article is 3080. If the rate of GST is 10%, then the GST charged is. Taking 10% is really easy. All you have to do is get rid of that 10. And simply 308 is your GST, which is option B. Question 8. 1 plus sine A into 1 minus sine A is equal to, now simply if we just multiply this, remember this is A plus B into A minus B, which is A squared minus B squared, if you remember. So 1 squared minus sine squared A, that's simply 1 minus sine squared A, which is equal to cosine squared A. Remember your formulas here, A plus B into A minus B is equal to A squared minus B squared, and sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. Hence, that's why you can say that this is cosine squared. And that would be option D. Now, question 9. The coordinates of the vertices ABC are respectively minus 4, minus 2, 6, 2, and 4, 6. And they ask you for the centroid G. Centroid, the formula for centroid is simply add the 3 x coordinates and divide by 3. And for y, add the 3 y coordinates and divide by 3. So x here would be minus 4 plus 6 plus 4 over 3. And y will be minus 2 plus 2 plus 6 over 3. That gives us, the 4's get cut, 6 over 3, that's just 2. And the 2's get cut, 6 over 3, that's 2 again. So our point G is 2, 2, which is option A. Right? So we move on to the 10th sum. 10th sum says the nth term of an arithmetic progression is 2n plus 5. So that means Tn is equal to 2n plus 5. And they ask you for the 10th term. So simply plug in 10 for n and figure out what the 10th term is. That's 25. That would be option C. So 11th question. The mean proportional between 4 and 9. Now remember, mean proportional means the square root of the two numbers. So mean proportional is equal to root of the two numbers multiplied together. So 4 into 9 square root is simply going to give you 6. And that's option B. The 12th question. Which of the following cannot be determined graphically for a group frequency distribution? Group frequency distribution, you can make a ogive to find the median and the quartiles, and you can make a histogram to find the mode, but for the mean, you can't do it graphically, right? So for the mean, your answer will be mean, which cannot be determined graphically. That's D. Okay. Then question 13. Volume of a cylinder of height 3 is 48 pi. So volume is equal to 48 pi. Volume formula for a cylinder is pi r squared h. So our volume is equal to 48 pi. I can cancel the pi's. Now they told us the height is 3. So r squared into 3 is equal to 48. Divide the 3 on the other side. R squared is 16. Take the square root. R has to be 4. Okay. So 4 centimeters. That is option C. Now the 14th sum. Naveen deposits 800 rupees every month in a recurring deposit account for 6 months. If he receives 4884 at the time of maturity, then the interest he earns is. Now, at first thought, you'd think you have to do the whole formula, but this is actually pretty simple. You just need to find the money which he deposits every month for 6 months and subtract it from the maturity value. So we know our maturity value is equal to principal into n plus I. Our maturity value, they said, was 4884. Our principal is 800 per month for 6 months. So what's the interest? Simply multiply and subtract. So 4884, that's 4800 plus I. If you're going to subtract the 4800, obviously you will get interest is 84. So that is option A. Now the 15th multiple choice question. The solution set for the inequation 2x plus 4 is lesser than or equal to 14, where x is an element of the whole numbers. Whole numbers means it has to start from 0, right? So 2x plus 4 is lesser than or equal to, this is simple to solve. 14 minus 4, that's 2x is lesser than or equal to 10. Divide by 2, 2x is lesser than or equal to 5. So whole numbers lesser than or equal to 5 start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 also because it's lesser than or equal to. So this would be option B. So that completes the multiple choice part. Let's do question 2 as well. So question 2 states, find the value of a if x minus a is a factor of the polynomial 3x cubed. So 3x cubed plus x squared minus ax minus 81. This is our function, and we want to say that x minus a is a factor. If x minus a is a factor, that means that f of a has to equal 0. So we have to plug in a for our equation. So 3 into a cubed plus a squared minus a into a minus 81. So 0 is equal to 3a cubed. The plus a squared and minus, this is going to be a squared, so this gets cut, minus 81. Okay, so now how do we solve this? You have to realize that we can divide by 3 or factorize the 3 out. So a cubed minus 27. So a cubed minus 27 has to be 0. 3 obviously can be divided out, and you can say 0 is equal to a cubed minus 27. So 27 is equal to a cubed. And the cube root of 27 is plus or minus 3 actually. Find the value of a. So they're saying one value of a. No, it can't be minus because otherwise it would be minus 27. So you have to take the principal one, which is plus 3. So a has to be plus 3. If a is plus 3, that means x minus 3 is a factor. They didn't ask you that. They just asked you the value of a. So we can stop there. That's question 2, the first one. Let's do the question 2, the second one. Salman deposits 1,000 rupees every month in a recurring deposit account for 2 years. If he receives 26,000 on maturity, find the total interest and the rate of interest. So our formula again is maturity value is equal to p into n plus p into n plus 1 over 2 into r over 100 into 1 upon 12. So what information do we have? If he reaches 26,000 as maturity, that's the maturity value. The monthly deposit is 1,000, and for how many months? 2 years. 2 years is 24 months. So 24 months plus 1,000 into 24 into 25 over 2, and we're looking for r, right? We're looking for r over 100 into 1 over 12. Okay, first I can subtract this out. 26,000 minus 24,000 is 2,000. So the interest, the first answer is already given. The interest is going to be 2,000. You can write that separately. And let's write this again so I can show you where it's cut. So for our first answer, we can say that total interest is 2,000 rupees, 2,000, right? And to figure out the rest of this, let's do the cutting. We can cut the zeros. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 24 divided by 12 is 2. 5 2s are 10. Into 25, that's 250. So 250R has to equal 2,000. So 2,000 divided by 250 is, get rid of the zeros, 200 divided by 25, that's simply 8. Let's just check that. 25 into 8. 8 5s are 40. 16 and 4, 20. Yep. So 8% is your answer. 8% is the rate. That's the second question. The third question, you see the figure there. In the given figure is the center of the circle. O is the center of the circle. CE is a tangent to the circle at A. If ABD is equal to 26, then find BDA. Now BDA, if this is a diameter, this is the center of a circle, BDA has to be 90 degrees. That's just right off the bat, because angles in the diameter are always 90 degrees. So first question, angle BDA is equal to 90 degrees, and the reason for that is angles in the diameter are 90 degrees. The second question, BAD. BAD here, BAD, if this is 90 and this is 26, we can figure out BAD by angle sum properly. So simply, BAD is going to be 180 minus the sum of 26 and 90. Or we can take 180 minus 90, that means 90 only. So 90 minus 26. 90 minus 26 is what? 9, 8, 10, 4, 64. So 64 degrees is BAD. Now they ask us for the third one, CAD. Angle CAD is this angle right here. This angle, you know, has to equal the angle ABD, because angles between a tangent and a chord is equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So by alternate segment theorem, angle CAD is equal to angle ABD, which is equal to 26. Reason being alternate segment theorem. Now that was simple. D ODB, so angle ODB. Now for ODB, you have to figure out what this central angle is. We figured out last DAB. So angle DAB was, what was it, 64? So angle DOB will be twice 64, because angles at the center are twice the angle at the circumference. So to write that down properly, ODB is equal to, no, wait, that's this angle first. So before we find that, let me tell you, angle DOB is equal to twice angle DAB. So angle DOB is going to be twice 64, which is 128. Now since we know the central angle, and we know that these both are radii of the circle, so they're equal, then the base angles have to be equal, right? Oh, so we didn't have to do all that. So this is 26. I thought we wanted the whole thing. Okay, so ODB is 26. We can do that without doing any work at all. We can say the radii are equal, so ODB is 26 directly. Okay, so this is not needed. I thought they asked this angle also. Okay, so this is not needed. You can simply say ODB is 26 because the radii are equal. Radii are equal. Radii are equal. So isosceles triangle theorem. Isosceles triangle theorem. Okay, that's question 2. Question 3. Now question 3. Solve the following quadratic equation. X squared plus 4x minus 8 is equal to 0, and they asked you to give the answer correct to one decimal place. So x squared plus 4x minus 8 is equal to 0. So let's write the quadratic equation. X is equal to opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Our a here is 1, b is 4, and c is minus 8. So x is equal to the opposite of b, so that would be minus 4, plus or minus b squared, 4 squared, minus 4 into a into c over 2 into a. So x is equal to minus 4 plus or minus square root of 16 plus 32 over 2. 16 and 32 is how much? 48. So minus 4 plus or minus root 48 over 2. Now if you realize this 48 is 16 into 3. So I can look up 48 in the tables, or I can rewrite this as 16 into 3. 16 into 3 over 2. 16 into 3 over 2, so root 16 is going to be 4. Minus 4 plus or minus 4 root 3 over 2. And we should know the value of root 3 is 1.732. Now we can divide everything by 2 as well. So minus 4 divided by 2 is minus 2. Plus or minus 4 divided by 2 is 2. So let's plug in the value. Minus 2 plus 2 into 1.732. And we can say, or x is minus 2 minus 2 into 1.732. So let's figure out what 2 into 1.732 is. 1.732 into 2, 4, 6, 14, 3. Decimal point will go there. 3.464. So that will be x is equal to minus 2 plus 3.464, or x is equal to minus 2 minus 3.464. Let's do the calculation on the side. 3.464, if we subtract 2, that's just 1, right? So x is 1.464, or if we take minus 3 and a minus 2, that means you're adding. So 3.464 add to 2, that would be 5.464, but both of them are negative, so the negative remains. So it's going to be x is equal to minus 5.464. They asked us only one decimal place, so let's round 1 point. There's a 6 here, so we'll round the 4 to a 5. And minus 5 point, again 6 here, so we'll round the 4 to a 5. So this is our final answer then. X is 1.5 or minus 5.5. Okay. Next, the second question of question 3. Prove sine squared theta minus 1 into tan squared theta plus 1 is equal to 0. Now, there's many things you can do here. Well, there's a 1, and we can change the 1 to sine squared plus cos squared. Or we can change this, sine squared minus 1, right? But we know that sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is equal to 1. So if I take 1 minus sine squared theta, that gives me cos squared theta. But that's not what I have, right? I have the negative of that. So if I put a negative in here, then I'll get negative cosine squared theta. So sine squared theta minus 1 is equal to minus cos squared theta into tan. So we can write tan as sine squared theta over cos squared theta plus 1 is equal to 0. Let's keep this on the side work. Okay. Now the cosine squareds cut here. So you're left with minus sine squared theta. And the cosine is multiplied over here. Minus cos squared theta. Plus 1 is equal to 0. Now both, again, with the same identity, if I factorize that minus, becomes minus 1 into sine squared theta plus cos squared theta. Again, plus 1 is equal. Well, I can't say it's equal to 0 right now, right? I'm proving it's equal to 0. So let's write that later. Let's write that in the last step. We can say the left-hand side is equal to this. And then our last step will say it's equal to 0. So minus 1, this value is also 1, plus 1. So that's minus 1 plus 1, which is 0, which is our right-hand side. Right? Now the third one, this requires graph paper, but we can do this on regular paper as well. Simply need to find the points. We scale our scale. Let's do it till 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then tell us, plot A, B, and C, where A is 0, 4. So 0, 4 is right up here. So this is point A, 0, 4. Point B, 1, 1. 1, 1. This is point B. C is 4, 0. So that's 4, 0 right here. And what do they want to do? Reflect A and B on the x-axis and name them E and D. So A reflected on the x-axis will be right here. They want to call this E. And the coordinates here are 0, minus 4. And if we reflect B in the x-axis, it will be right here. Call that D. This will be 1, minus 1. And what else do they want to reflect? Reflect B through the origin. Reflect B through the origin. If we reflect in the origin, it will change, both X and Y will change signs. And what do they call this? Call this F. Name it F. So we'll name this F, and it will be minus 1, minus 1. And reflect B and C on the y-axis. On the y-axis. And call them H and G. So B on the y-axis will be here. And they call this H. So this will be minus 1, 1. And C they want to reflect in the y-axis. That will be G. So this is 4, 0. This will be minus 4, 0. Minus 4, 0. They want us to call this G. For this G. So what is the last step they want? Join A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H and A in order and name the closed figure. So let's join all of this. A, B, C, D. So A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, F to G. This is kind of like connect the dots. To G, G to H, and H to A. So that looks like a star to me. Let's count the sides of the figure. You want to give it a name, so let's count the sides. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. An 8-sided closed figure is known as an octagon. Looks like a star shape too, we can say, right? But octagon would be sufficient. That concludes section A. Section B, I'll show you in another video. See you next time.